Alright, so here we are on the back pad. It's a construction zone right now, but I'll show you what we're doing here. So the biggest problem, which you'll be able to see from the other pictures, is that the house is level as far as we know, but the pad itself is completely banked to the right. And so water tends to run off the roof, overflood the gutters, which we need to fix the French drain. We will. But even the water that just hits the pad runs that way. And so when we poured this pad, we leveled it, but it sunk a little bit to the right because of the lack of level. And so all the water that came off of the mini split tower roof, off of the main house roof, and then just landed on this pad. And also that's our sump pump. We're gonna eventually plug that into a French drain and go away from the house. That's just temporary. But it would hit this pad, the water, then it would go and it would flood basically this, and then that section from there to that pipe, I'll explain in a second, that section was still blocked off with pavers. And it would just overflow right here and then just flood the entire pad and keep draining that way. So what we did is we kept a little moat around here, added some drainage rock, and we opened up that section of pavers right there, and it was previously draining right here behind our old unit. So currently, enter the new pad we're working on. You can see we have it framed off. I think it's like 70 inches by 50 inches, something like that. So it should basically give us plenty of room to put a quick sling for a 24 or 36,000 BTU mini split. And so we really like this quick sling. It keeps our equipment nice and high off the ground. And so we'll be able to put that same style of quick sling over on a massive pad. But we needed to be concerned with drainage. And so what we did is that channel that I described that we opened up earlier, we put a 3-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe directly on the ground to collect the water. Eventually, when all is said and done, we'll put a little bit of cement or like a mortar base around there to kind of contour and create a sloped entry. So water, and we'll also cut this back closer towards where the form is now and kind of make a sloped entry. So any water from up here or this little drainage channel will all enter that pipe. That pipe goes straight underneath what will be the cement. You can see we've gotten our paver cement gravel base over here, and that water then goes through the underneath of the concrete and what's a culvert, takes a 90-degree turn. We have a clean out here, which will drill holes and vent. It then goes over here and continues out and drains down to the bottom of the house. We'll extend that a little further so it drains way out into the little ravine that kind of collects there when it floods over here. The rest of these pavers you see are all coming out as well. We're going to put a wall over here, a small divider, and then there's some trees that are going to go into here as well. Some arborvitaes that are very similar to those, though a lot taller. Anyway, so back to this. Water drains down into this pipe. There's a nice, probably like a 1 bubble slope coming down here. So it really takes the water. We just tested it. And it comes down here, and then there you can see here there's a Y, and then there's this pipe. Now this pipe is actually just temporary here. It does come off. This section here will end right at this flange here. We put this pipe in here so that when we pour the concrete, we don't accidentally get any concrete into this this flange connection. But when all is said and done, this flange connection will be level with the top of the concrete pad, and then we'll grind it and make it just slightly underneath the pad. So water, as it comes off the concrete pad, as it hits the top of the unit, the mini split, or whatever we put on here, we can put a heat pump as well. As it hits the pad, it goes and it drains into here. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to end up putting some pressure treated wood and anchoring it down SDS into the concrete along this side, and then we'll put probably a 4x4 pressure treated over there, and we'll concrete that down, and we'll put some like mortar cement or something around the base, basically creating a dam at the end of the pad. What that dam will effectively do is it will force the water to drain through that pipe, which will be slightly lower. We might have to do a little bit of after concrete dry drainage sloping to get it to collect into that. But the point of blocking this off so that the water doesn't drain off of here is because we're going to have these very expensive 8-foot tall arbor vitaes. We're going to purchase 8-foot tall arbor vitaes and have a landscapist plant them here. A line of them are here. And what we don't want is when we're cleaning a coil, putting chemicals on the coil to clean it, we don't want all of that chemical runoff to go over the pad and then flood the trees and then pollute them. What we want to happen is by damming up the edge of the pad base, forcing that chemical water and any other drainage water through that flanged pipe, down into the pipe, and then getting it clear away from our vegetation. And so that's kind of one really kind of exciting thing that we've done. We've never really done it before, but that's sort of the design of this this culvert and then this drainage duct here. The other reason why we have such an enormous pad, first of all, a mini split is the shape of a triangle, so it sort of facilitates that shape. But we also wanted to have plenty of room on either side of the mini split, both for airflow as well as for servicing it. So the service panel is going to be on this side, so the mini split will probably have sort of right up against that corner, and then we'll have plenty of room on this side to get in here, and then, you know, the technician can service it, the technician being us. We can get in here, we can service it, and then when we have the actual unit positioned, it will be towards this side of the pad. So we'll have plenty of room behind it to access it to clean the coil. It won't have any airflow restrictions or anything like that. So let me get back here so you can see the full layout of what it looks like. And there it is. You can kind of tell the slope of the entire pad. It's, you know, 30 years of it sloping down, and that's what's happened. So we got the forms actually a little bit off level. Towards the right side where the pipe is, it's actually angled slightly proud because with the enormous amount of weight for all the gravel, the rebar, which we'll put in there and float it up a bit, and then the concrete and water, we expect it to sink a little bit, and by the time it's done sinking, it should then be perfectly level with a little bit of slope towards us this way. So that's sort of just a description of a cool thing we're doing. Eventually what we'll do is we'll pull these two concrete water drainage things, and we'll extend that pipe clear out to here, and then it'll just drain into the sort of the neighborhood ravine that gets created here. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're using 3-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe. It's completely glued except for this last long piece, which doesn't really need the gluing. But all of those joints, everything going through, what will be going through the pad is all glued. Previously, we had a 1.5-inch Schedule 40 pipe that was not glued, that the builders of this house that was built in 1991 put in for the sump pump, and that's it right there. That Schedule 40 1.5-inch PVC pipe ran all around the perimeter of the outside of the house, back behind where those mini splits are, and there's a connection back here for where the right there, that's where the sump pump came out of. Now fortunately, we've dealt with drainage in the front and back of the house as good as well as we can have done until having done this job, and so we don't our sump pump doesn't run that often at all. But like I said, what you're seeing right there is temporary. We're eventually going to have that go 90 degrees the other way. It's going to go underneath these stairs, and it's going to connect into another 3 or 4 inch PVC French drain in the corner that will collect the gutter downspout. Then there will be a 3-way with a clean out, and then there will be a 3-way taking in the sump, and then it'll all go underground. It'll be sloped, that 3 or 4 inch pipe, it'll be sloped, it'll come right out to the bottom there, and it will be open. It will be exposed and daylit over there. We'll have a stainless steel mesh screen to keep critters out, and it'll daylight over there, and it'll be easy to clean out and check the condition of. Another thing that we'll do over here I mentioned that we would put a little mortar, cement, and create this little entry in here to ramp the water in there. We'll put a stainless steel mesh screen on there as well. And then when the pad is poured and done, this temporary little riser pipe will come out, and then we'll insert a 3-inch stainless steel mesh screen in here as well, which will keep any critters out of there. And then the final screen, another 3-inch mesh screen, will go at the end there. So that will keep rodents, squirrels from planting their peanuts or acorns. You can find peanuts everywhere around here. And most importantly, from the entry points where it collects drain water, it will keep leaves from entering or rocks from entering. And any leaves that do inevitably collect here, they will. It'll make it easy to just come in here and just clean it out real quick. And then if we ever need to, we can just pull those caps off and we can just jet it out. We could probably just even use a garden hose, if not a sewer jetter, kind of satisfy my need to buy more tools. But anyways, yeah, that's the concrete form. The next step, we'll get some rebar. We'll probably have about 4 rows of 70-inch rebar going lengthwise, and then probably like 5 or 6 rows of, I think, like 38 rebar going the other way horizontally. And so we'll tie them up with some steel wire. We'll float them up a little bit, and it'll be pour. It'll be pour day then. Probably take about 10 or 12 80-pound bags of high-strength Sackcrete. So that's the form. And then just for you HVAC guys out there, this is what the original contractor did. It's horrible. It's just ridiculous. So what we're gonna do is, believe it, so this may look like it may look like indoor Romex, but that's actually direct burial outdoor capable stuff. It's actually not bad, but we're getting rid of it. We're gonna use a proper liquid type whip. It's gonna be properly connected under here. We'll probably just replace this. I like using fused disconnects, so we'll probably replace it with I think an Eaton. It's what we're using on our mini splits. Eaton fused disconnect, proper liquid type whip. That whip will come all the way around to the other end where the service ports are, and the electrical connections are on this side. And then what we're doing with this is pretty exciting too. I'll do a follow-up part of this video. So this, we're going to actually cut out a square, and we're going to put a pressure treated piece of probably 2x12 or something there, and then we're going to J-channel around it, and that's going to be painted white. And then we'll have a little bit of a shield at the top, like a rain drip. And then we're going to use one of those AirX Titan HVAC penetration lines. So all of this garbage spray foam is going to be removed. We're going to use probably like a copper mesh with some like Prosico or liquid flash or something to completely seal up that penetration. And then we're going to have the AirX enclosure on top of it with a nice rubber grommet, and then all of these will be properly insulated. So we'll basically have an airtight seal penetration going into the house. It'll totally clean this up. And again, rodents can chew through that. We haven't had that problem, but we don't want to have that problem. So I'll probably flesh these lines out. We had an R22 HVAC unit here, an old train that lasted us 30 years out of that. But I'll probably RX11 flush these out, blow it out with some nitrogen, and then probably reuse them. I don't want to have to rip it out because it's all fastened and with some sheet metal fastened into studs, and it's real tight, so I don't want to have to rip it out. But if I do, I will. I have a new line set. Oh, and then over here, my wife was adamant that this be curved. I said, hey, let's just miter cut this in. She said no. She says it needs to be curved to match the window well. And so the window well cover's a little beat up. We'll replace that too. And so we got some scrap from Lowe's. I think that's like 1/8 inch plywood, and we just staked it in, and we made this little bit of a curve right there. And another thing we did is we spaced off the form from the wall perfectly. You can see those pavers are on end. When they're on end with a stake, once the forms are removed, the spacing is perfect that we'll be able to take one of these paver widths and it will fit that perfectly. So we can line the edge with pavers. We didn't want to go against the foundations because that's a neighbor's and that's ours. So we'll be able to put pavers in there and then fill it with sand and whatever, so that you don't get any bug build up or leaves build up in there. But anyways, that's it. Here's the rest of the pad. You can see with the sun. There's our XL14i that we're attempting a repair on. And then here are the mini split towers. Those are Pioneer 36K BTU units. Yes, the top line said I didn't do the line height on, and I need to recover everything and then do a proper 90-degree line height straight down, paint it, and then recharge it and everything. I just haven't got around to it. There are those disconnects. Those are, I think, the Eaton units, and they have they've got the fuses inside, so one for each line for these 240 units, and we got the liquid tight whips going up into here. And so this quick sling is really good stuff. You know, it's like 18 inches off the ground. Snow can't touch it. All the water drains off it. We got a little roof on there too. Although that roof, we do want to replace the actual roof material with a solar panel, which would be larger than that and more sturdy. And then one thing we'll also do with this whole unit is actually brace the back with one bar, a square bar, up to the wall. So we'll probably put like a 2x6 pressure treated, bolted into some studs, and then we have an adapter plate Modern Studio makes, and that screws into the stud, and then it accepts square metal bar piping, square pipe, and it just bolts in there and it'll come out, and then we have a connector that'll just brace this entire thing and basically give it like a little hurricane brace. But you get out here, you can see it'll set up a little better. Let's see, there we go. So there they are, and our pad will be there, drainage water. So anyways, that's the update. This video's too long, so hope you like it. Bye.